Fantastic. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Plan B Express Cashflow Solution family. Let's look at the market outlook for the week. Of course, even though it's just half of the week, just have 2 days for those of us who are trading Forex, and of course, just today and Friday. Of course, wrapping up the year 2025 is another factor we have to look at, but nevertheless, you have to look at. Let's take at the outlook of the market. So I'm going to start from uh, I call them trading spotlight. So trading spotlight, we're going to look at first. So the trading spotlight, which are market indices to evaluate the market and look at the performance of things and look at it structurally. Before we look at, there are certain fundamentals which are variables that are part of the thing and all stuff. So look at the market. Yeah, so this market, this is the DXY, which you know that definitely no more struggle. And that's why beginners tell you about when you want to trade, the first thing you need to have understanding of the economic calendar and the high impact news that are going to invariably affect the market most importantly. Then so look at structurally. So look at the market structurally. This guy had been sideways for a very long time at the base here. So we have the last low here, and then we broke to create another low, and we have a sweep of liquidity over there. And so this is now, if you look at it up to now, they haven't been close above this point. So this is the previous low, and then the sweep, which is now tend to be the immediate low. And now, so up to now, the market hadn't closed above this. So which is at this. So if you look at it now, that means the market definitely could travel up. So if we take it from our dealing range, what we need to understand, if we take it from that, so you can expect that, okay, the market, okay, the market from this swing low to this high, but structure hasn't been broken. That's the little challenge we have. So for that, we're going to be a little bit wary that this market somehow. So if not, we have this as a reversal at this point to move up, but there is a little bit complicated. And so that's one of the things because we take out liquidity here and then we have a bounce and we have some kind of level of gap here that we can say, okay, this is fine. And this is swing point. And so when we look at it, all of these are still like internal structure. So if you look at it, this is an internal structure to say low, high, low, another high, low, another high, and another low, another high. So if you now take it internal structure, so that means you have something like a double top here, right? So that means this is a swing low, and then this is an internal change of character. So if that is the case, we have this swing high, and that means this up here established. So you have the market again. These are internal, so you have to understand when talk about internal. So the market again created perhaps, should I say, another low. So all this, a break of structure here, and then we're supposed to have that here, but we have this move down here. Now, this is not a break entirely. So that means all of this thing is still going to be this way. So having bands, if you're not going to work with this, so this is the established swing high. And because no cross has happened here, okay, if you break this point, we have it return back to this point. That's a big one. And so we've not broken anything right up to now. So this is the established break. So we're going to take, sorry about that. So taking up to from here to this point of reversal now. So what are we looking at? So looking at the market probably to come back, probably this is a supply zone or return back to this fair value gap. So which is still aligning that the market. So, but are we going to have some little buy anything that has to do with dollar? That's what it's that's the implication right here, taking over here. So that means we have a point of reference here. The market could so travel back to if possible. And now it's going to do that. So what other things? So the PDR is you're going to look at is this fair value gap here, would make a lot of sense, and this other block here. So that means Euro DXY could travel up into this region, and that means you have more opportunity to buy anything USD X. So USD, 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 Canada, that's USD CAD, USD CHF, USD JPY, and all of that will present opportunity of buy. I don't want to waste too much time on this, so just to summarize it, then anything SND USD, Euro USD, and all of that, then you should have opposite. So this is the simple thing I want to give to you. That's why I just take these indices for, those of us trading currencies and all the like. Do you understand? And it's very, very important that you need to pay attention to that. So anything, even XAUUSD 2 have to be coming down, and because but you should know that when the DXY is able to get to this point and able to get, if you cannot get rid of this point, and then that means you're going to drop. So probably could be today, tomorrow, and so do be careful. But for now, there's a window of opportunity of buying USD this, USD that. And so I'm going to summarize them. So because of that, I'll go to some of those instruments. So let's go to anything that has to do with USD starting first. So let's look at USD JPY quickly. So if it's that, you can look at USD JPY. I don't want to go too much detail. That means there should be ample of opportunity for buying. And that's where I'm going to go into more of its structure. So you can see USD JPY that should be buying, and after the previous week. So here we have internal structure because this was not broken. So we have internal structure and where we have returned back to this point. So if we go to 4 hours, that could give you presentation of buying opportunity so that you can actually maximize your trade, as it were. Even though you think it's sluggish, maybe you have to find another way around. So we can say this are definitely kind of support, a strong support that sounds like a demand zone. And so we have this high, and then we have this low. All of these are internal structure. Then you have this high. So if you're going to take this from here, so that means you're going to take from here, this swing low to this swing high. And so this region was actually nice because this is another block. And so you should be finding entry for the market. But if you look at it closely, the market isn't actually reacting possibly. And so it's as if we want to come back to mitigate this demand zone again before probably buying up. So is it a thing I want to buy right now? I rather want to wait to see the proper pullback, to buy into it. So that's USD JPY, but let's quickly go to any other USD. So let's look at USD CAD. All right, so USD CAD, so let's just look at it on 4-hour time frame without wasting much time. And so I'm going to quickly take off this. All right, so let's look at it. Now, I want to establish some fact. Now, I'm not going to go back to where it's coming from. So obviously, it's a downtrend. And if that's the case, so let's establish some fact here. Now, structurally establishing some fact, you have this. And then this is a break of structure, legitimate. Then this is a point return back. And then we have another break. Okay. So we have another break here. So after this break, all of the journey returned back here. So we have it mitigated. And so we have this. That's another break, right? So this is a swing high. So what we need is very simple. Start taking from the swing high to the swing low, very simple, right? And so invariably, we find out so area here. And in this region to this region is your OTE. Okay. So in this region to this region is your OTE. So then if you look at it within your OTE, there's a fair value gap, massive fair value gap, and all of that. So if that's the case, then we have a kind of order block here, or a supply zone, as it were. So you expect the market actually to react here. So if it doesn't react here, so that makes a lot of sense that you've been finding selling opportunity after this. So now give and take, that means if I go to my lower time frame, I can buy up. And so going to maybe 1 hour before going to 15 minutes, I could as well to have buy up so that to navigate back to this top Y. So let's just go to 15 minutes straight up. So this is 15-minute time frame. So we have this as a break of structure, and we have this low. Now we have this external high that ought to be taken out but hadn't. Okay, so this seems to this guy to have created a new high. So if it's that established that a new high was created, then you should have something like this. And then, so conservatively, when this is broken, then you want a confirmation, which is a retest back to this, perhaps any point there, and all of that. For other traders who probably are as well faster to have evaluated this, will have been in from here because of the market's, retracement. So let's return back here 5 minutes to find a sniper entry probably. Now that's what's going to form this. So this was a break. So like we'll talk about liquidity point. And so this is the market. All make sense? Now we have a break here. So breaking above here should find your range to determine where to enter from. Now the range was not gotten. You push up more, then you have this to this range. And then returning back here, okay, perhaps we are having a kind of 2 fib level. Okay, so you can still find that on 5 minutes, the same thing was formed, even though, so aligning with this other block on 5 minute time frame. So that will find the market entry. Now, so still market that the market after breaking the structure is still going to pull back, perhaps. So when you pull back, you are DCA into the market, and that's one of the understanding. So that's had to do with USD card, meaning so if I find just want to find entry there earlier or waiting for the market to pull back again. So if an entry was formed here, given the fact that DXY was going to be rolling the plan up, so go to back of 1 hour time frame. So that means you will be targeting this up here to take profit. Nevertheless, that doesn't stop you not to take profit as the market continues, because you are in the market to negotiate with price. Okay, so if I have a position starts running, and then I'm going to have here, so take profit bit by bit and all of that, and that's going to form a very fantastic market model for you. So the same thing you do here probably could almost apply to USD chef. Okay, so you can find out. So we'll look at this break chart structure, and then we'll have a proper break again here. So that means this is the point you're looking at from here to this point. All right, if we're going to have any rejection at all, so you're finding of this rejection at this point, except otherwise, so remember, you are negotiating with price. Okay, so here the market running up, and perhaps, so that means I'm going to go to like 15-minute time frame to probably have find a proper entry and rally it back, or wait patiently for the market to return back to this point so that you can be looking for a sell. And this is a sweep of liquidity and break of structure. And I don't know if we have this one still lower. There's definitely going to be that you push this, and then you probably could be stopped out if you do not have your market set properly, because you're going to be doing this here and then say here, and that was very well traveled, and then you will have find an entry here. Normal, it's very possible. If you are the one that tightened the stop loss so much, then definitely you'll be stopped out right now. But if you are the one that extend to the last low and then used to be in the market, and then a DCA that come in and all of that, don't look at stop loss as a problem. It's part of the trading, so you have to understand that. Okay, so if that's the case, so you will have had this, and so the question you ask yourself now is that what should I do? It's not difficult. You wait. Okay, so probably you wait for the market to get, and now maybe selling down before you can buy. Except for the fact that you have this is an established high, the market break it, and another pullback should be forming your entry, as it were. I hope it makes sense. Okay, so I want to just run this as fast as possible. Like I told us yesterday, that the gold, the euro, USD should be selling, and of course, I will need to summarize them very fast. So the only thing, so let me just look at gold very quickly. Okay, so that is going to be very important. So let me look at gold for you. Wow, amazing. Gold is already selling, like I said, last Sunday. So let me take off all of this jargon. You understand? Let me take off all of this jargon. Take off this plain. Good. Now this is gold. 4 hours. So if you look at daily, definitely you find something here. You've seen the I was telling us yesterday, if you take off this here, sorry. So this is gold. And I was telling us that it's still going to buy, but possibility of it returning down is very high, right? So that means if you look at gold, this is the normal breakup structure on daily time frame that was established, right? And so if that's the case, so this is going to be a breaker block. All right, a very large breaker block there. And so that means we need a retest back to the breaker block. And so the market need to crash down to the breaker block. So if I were you, you probably want to be patient to see how market crash down properly before you are looking for an entry. Or you're going to look for a buy opportunity, perhaps a selling opportunity while the market was crashing down. So if you now look at it inwardly on daily time frame, so this is alignment of other block with breakout block on the same point on daily time frame. So quickly go to 4 hours. So going to 4 hours is fantastic. So let's look at the 4 hours. So we have a breakout structure definitely here. And then we have another established breakout structure over here. So this is the recent structural break. So this is a recent structural break. That was a massive one for that matter. You ask because there's a gap here. So these are the challenges. Now let's look at it. This is a structural break, all right? This is a break of structure and a pushback, another break of structure. Where is the lowest before this structure was broken? So this point here. And then if you take it up, if the market we're going to continue on 4-hour time frame, so that means you have an alignment of this point from this point to this point. So that means you have your OTE now, right? So look at the gap. So let's take this gap entirely, not just only. So this is a gap and jump or this gap and all of that. So we just see the gap anyway. And so that's what it is. And then the other block. So, but invariably, you have another point of interest here or area of focus that you can imagine when gold travel to. So that sometimes you are sitting down and waiting for gold here and never come there. You like, what's going to happen? Because there's a liquidity here, right? So this is a liquidity area. And so you expect the gold to actually come down. So this is a liquidity. Which is a side liquidity, as it were. Now, so you have this. If that's the case, so if the market travel down here, no, so may end up not getting here. But if it's going to get there now, that makes a lot of sense, right? Because you have a very powerful fair value gap on these 4 hours, as it were. But remember, when I say about gold, I haven't done this analysis. Those of you who are within our, inner circle Plan B Express Cashflow Solution, this is where when you are done and go to lower time frame, you want to go back to your psychological level. You will have been buying and selling and making money, but you have an idea of where you want the market to actually get to get more bigger involved in the market. So if you look at it, but right now the market is actually around another area of interest that probably expect the market to react to. So now, so if we go to 1 hour, so let's look at 1 hour. So before we return back to a lower time frame that you expect. So looking at 1 hour, we have different structure here. So this is a break of structure, and then having break of structure, we have a return of the market down. So if you take it now on 1 hour time frame, so you have this break of structure, right? So this is a recent high. So if you work with 1 hour, if you are the one that's always trending with 1 hour, so that means you will have find a swing low here and a swing high here. So that means where the market is exactly now is your powerful area of focus. All right. And the market return back here. So it may be more fragile for you. And so then you are going to look at, you have another gap here, that gap, of course, of that 4 hour time frame. And of course, you want to look at, this is complete order block, which was touched a little on top of this point, and then you expect the market to actually rally up. So, but in doing that, you have to now probably go to lower time frame. Let's look at 5-minute time frame and see what do we see. Now, there's a little challenge here, and that's what gold, a little bit choppy, no volume to have perfected everything. If not, for traders who always maximize sniper entry and all of that, we have all of these points as liquidity. There's a sweep of liquidity and tap into this gap. You can see this 5-minute gap. You can see that? So tap into this gap, and that was a very passive, massive one, right? And this is an established low, never got there, and so that means this was mitigated on 5-hour time, 5-minute time frame. So on the 5-minute time frame, so you have this break here, you have sweep of liquidity over here. So here, if you look at it, so this is a low on this 5 minutes, and this is created a high. So that means ordinarily you should be looking at the market from this swing low to this swing high. And now, but in this swing high, right, from this swing low to this swing high, and market powerfully return back to that, of course, this point of interest, right, or area of focus. So in this area of focus, we have this order block, and of course tapping, but these are not my good entry. I was not going to look for entry here because it's not a powerful one for me. I love to have a swing point, something similar to this. Now, but that's not an issue. The markets return back, and a lot will have bought in because they love always buying their gold. So you don't blame them for that. Now, so the market now broke. You can see a structural break here. That's a lovely one. Now it looks so tiny, but now let's quickly go back. So if that's the case, this is the established low, right? So if you take it there from here to this high, this is a high. So you actually expect the market to mitigate this order block, but and it's wasted it, that turned it to a breaker block. That's what you're seeing now, 5-minute time frame. So it broke it through, and because we're supposed to be having this, so chances are here that somebody will be in the market here. Yeah, because it came in here. This is another block. Let's take a look at it, because those are the things you're looking for. The same thing you look for in the higher time frame, you're looking at it to repeat in the lower time frame, and that was established here, right? And then to an extent, we'll have a fair value gap here, and that had formed your entry. And of course, your stop loss completely below this other block. By now, you are out of the market. The market are pushed out, because you can't enter the market at this point and then you are putting your stop loss here. It's unrealistic. All right. So the market has pushed you off. So what are we going to do now? So like I said, let's look at it. So this has turned to a breaker block. All right. So if this that turned to a breaker block, if we have a rejection here, which likely going to be, you're supposed to be selling down, because we can say another point of area of focus here, the market return back to, but it's not justified. So it's going to have a rejection at this breaker block. Once you have a rejection, you want to be selling, and you're selling, of course, you are targeting this point and this point. Do you understand? Okay. But so this is the point. If it gets rejected there, excuse me, and you sell down to that point, that makes a lot of sense, okay? Right? That makes a lot of sense because it's a rejection dog. If you understand, we have scanners that help you to identify some of those things I'm just mentioning. It can get you confused sometimes. So if you go to 5-minute time frame, you're going to see what I'm saying. Come on, come on. So, right? So you can see we have a fair value gap here. And so that is okay. So if the market's unable to make it up and all of that, so definitely you should be looking for selling. So this is gold, and of course the struggle you are having on it and all of that. Sometimes it's always better you wait by the side to see how the market rally here, or you should have short the market because of what you are calculating, and definitely the market is the selling. Okay, so that's for gold. Depending on where you'll be watching this, that should guide you as much as possible. Okay, now let's go back to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, so let's look at this Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin. I've got a daily time frame. Okay. So if you look at Bitcoin, I have a lot of things I've drawn already, so I wouldn't have too much time to explain in detail. And I was telling people about Bitcoin breaking out of a particular zone I drew. And at the breakout of that, I expected the market to come back and retest before we can have a proper jump up. Without that, it's a waste of time. So something like this. Okay. So expected after breaking of this point, the market to come back and retest. Perhaps it's going to do that. Then that means we can continue moving up. So you have to go to a 4-hour time frame, probably to see what I was trying to explain. Let me take out all of this stuff. So now if we look at it, the market should be selling for a proper correction, if at all. So we have a break here. Then the market should be selling down to a region, because this is a high, this is a low, though I have not gotten to this. It created a high here and a low. So that means if you are taking it from this swing point, if it's already established though, which I think it should, then we have here. So here, that means the market, you are still expecting the market to travel back to this region where it struggled and then take a proper movement here. Now, if it's going to take a proper movement from there, that means you expect Bitcoin. So if I take out this, this is a kind of order block, which is at average price of how much? At about $87,300. So you expect Bitcoin to return back to that point before you can find another buy. And if it does not give a fantastic signal for buy there, then that means no way. And so if you look at it on 1 minute, 1 hour time frame, so it's already a rejection, a power of 3 and swing point. And so also be selling down Bitcoin, to this level. So if I'm going to be selling Bitcoin down to that level, that's going to be how much? And then your stop loss above this point. So if we go to 15 minutes, let's look at 15-minute time frame. So where you need to be careful again is that you want to take your profit at this break and then another one down there. So if you look at 5 minutes, this structure was not too powerful, a change, but because of your higher time frame, you are evaluating. Because if you look at it now, this will form a kind of break of structure or whatever, liquidity takeover. All right. So, and then this is a low. So if it's a low, so the market could or likely still gonna make up to this point. So you get it? So that means we're looking at, so establish why this was taken early immediately was because was like a rejection area, as it were. So if not, you're looking at it, this is like a break of structure. And if that's the case, if I take it from here, take my fib level from this point to this point where you're seeing. So what should the market do? The market's supposed to return back to probably any point here. But even if you find a sell here, you can still put your stop loss above this point. So the market's able to retrace back into this point, then you are adding more position. So, and selling that is to target your take profit. So that means if I'm selling Bitcoin from that point or anywhere here, my stop loss will still be above this point, and then targeting this point. So that's the 1:2 risk reward. And then of course, take profit here, take profit in that region, and then you are still okay. But all right. So if you now come back here, you do see more positions, and that's exactly what we're trying to establish. So ladies and gentlemen, it's very important. So cryptocurrencies too, of course, you should know that once Bitcoin is having a heat up, and then so other coins too will be adjusting, even if they are moving very well before, they will be reacting to that as much as possible. All right. And that was what happened. If you look at Solana, massive good move. And then, but as Bitcoin begin to have negative body language, then you can see them to cooling back. All right. So it could just be a pullback, so you have to be aware of it and then or work as expected. You understand? And so that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen, that I have for us. Same thing, if you go to the synthetic market and all of that, it's still the same dimension. You are looking at your structure and working out all the necessary modality to take trade or, exit trade and all of that. So if I look at this market, I've been struggling. This is V25. So I love to trade more of V10 and 75. And yeah, okay. So you can see this market have been down for a very long time. You can see the recovery. Me and somebody was on it for a very long time. So if you look at it here, let's take it externally first. So externally first, it's at a critical point now that you need to actually break effectively and run the journey properly. So this is the first break. If you're working on daily time frame, then the last early break. So the last early break. So if you go to your 4 hours time frame, but there's something you need to observe what just happened now. The market is retracing. Yeah. So what do I do? So it's very simple. To what extent will this market retrace to? Since we have a swing point, this is lovely. And so that means for this period, as we'll be looking for a sell, sell, sell in this market. So let's take it from this swing low to this swing high. Do you get it? Swing low to this swing high. So give and take, if you look at it, if we're going to find more buy entry, then we'll look at our area of focus as this point to this point. Now, there's a fair value gap established. So you can see, let's take out this. Okay, so excuse me first, let me just do something. So any area I find here, so I'm looking at, okay, eventually, okay, sorry about that. Okay, so eventually I'm looking at this area here to take profit if eventually I find an entry. And so you look at other block here, confirm on daily time frame, and then we have fair value gap. Okay, so let's take this guy out. Can you see that? So approaching a particular critical rejection level, and then markets already reacting. Though never mind, the market's abnormal can do. Now, if you look at this rally up, how many days consecutively? 1, 2, 3. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 consecutive days. This is a liquidity void. Now we're supposed to return back to cover to an extent and all of that. That's what you're trying to establish, right? Now, but never mind. So not all the time the liquidity void is covered. If you look at imagine this that happened, it has to create new more and then never come down, just establish it here. Now, so if you go to 4 hours, so we're going to have something like this. That this is 4 hours. And so where's the structure to on 4 hours? This is a proper structure break here. So if that's the structure break, so this is the swing point. So we'll still take this Fibonacci retracement up onto this point. Yeah, someone may want to say this is a break of structure, not a problem. However, so you have this now established back to this point. That means we already know that almost the same region. So what are you going to find out? So you're going to work with these two on 4 hours. So these are badge by badge of area of focus that's going to give you some take profit and stop losses. Look at some area here. This is a demand zone. And now if we go to 1 hour, so you're going to see something. Okay, so 1 hour, you can see how the market have been raising and been struggling. So we have a proper break of structure here. Okay, if you look at it now, this is a proper break of structure. Market retested back here. We have a new structural break here. We have another one here. So if now established with this 1 hour, make a lot of sense that the market definitely is on the downtrend or at least a reversal. Okay, so but you are targeting coming down to this point. So here we have this break of structure established. Then you have, excuse me, you have a swing low here. So if that's the case, so we have the market created a new internal low on 1 hour. So let's turn this. So we have a new high, lower high. And so the market broke the structure. So then you have another structure down here. So if you look at it, you mark to this point. So I'm going to go to 15-minute time frame. So without wasting more time. Just a moment. I want to check on gold. So it's still selling. Massive, massive. And check on Bitcoin. You see that? Selling. All right. So that's what we're saying. So we'll go to what time frame is this? This is 15-minute. Good. So you now know that your structure has shifted here ordinarily because you're looking at your daily time frame that time. So this is a high, this is a low, and then this is a high, lower than this. Then this is a break. So after this break, we have this market rally down up here. But nevertheless, so we're going to go to 5 minutes. That's my last point of early confirmation. And then you have that here. All right, so where's the last high? Let's go there. So it's the same thing. So what you have, because this was going to confuse you because it's too small. And so we have to stop at 15 minutes because if you go to 5 minutes now, it's going to cause more problem. But having broken that, so we have more structural break and then retest now for another sell. So let's go back to the 15 minute and maintain that standard. Can you see that? So we have a high here. So this is structure break. Then this is the external low on this time frame. So understand on this time frame. So we have the market come back. So some check critically to say, hey, but I don't take that. So here the market creates a new low, an internal low, and then create a high. So we have a break of structure. This is where we break the structure. And this looks like a breakaway because it didn't mitigate back up. And then, so in a nutshell, the market is selling, right? But you have to wait because this is another structural break here. So if it's a new structural break, so you have to take from this swing high to see where you should be well positioned for an entry. So it seems to have come there because this is a fair value gap. And then this is another block. So it seems to have come there, but still struggling to create some bands and all of that. So it means whatever thing you are doing here, if you are buying anything here or entering any market here, you must establish this sign. But this is the problem I'm having right now. This market that have this place unmitigated, look at it up here, here, and here. So it's still a problem. So likelihood is that you're going to enter this market, for instance, and put your stop loss here. That's $13 if you use one standard. If you use 0.5, that is 6 point something dollars. And eventually targeting here, but so that's not giving you 1:1 risk, 1:2 risk reward. So these are some of the danger. Okay. So here we come. So if the market, all things being equal, it may not be today, it may not be even tomorrow, it may take few time or days, then you are fine, okay? Remember, this is just the first leg. I think the major leg should be somewhere down here, if I'm not mistaken. This point is the last leg. And we'll be doing this drama, this panorama, and eventually hit down to that point. Yes, little did you know. So entering here is a good one, and then you're riding the market to its destination. Does that make sense? I think it does. You can see gold sold down massively, right? Crazy. Crazy, 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 guys. That's good for you. I told you it was going to be selling, and that's what is it. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, so take advantage of the opportunity and leverage on the movement. Never mind what Euro USD is doing, because Euro USD sometimes can just, because at a point there was an alignment between Euro USD and gold, but gold structurally segmented itself just within this period. You can see what I just told you about gold, because of the price needs to realign with the structural movement. Okay, so what can you say now? So this one, abortive. So I just told you about the breaker block that it must be rejected at that 5-minute time frame. So we're inside here, this place that was supposed to be mitigated. So that means, what are you looking at? CESA liquidity. This is a liquidity area. So you have to return back to 1 hour. Okay, so you have here, and you have here the daily time. Okay, so let's do 4 hours. Okay, so here it is, and that's what it is. Massive, 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 as you know. And so the market is selling down. For anyone who attended my market update yesterday, should be massively fine with the price movement right now of what's it called? Bitcoin. Thank you very much. So pay attention, continue to learn, explore opportunity, take instructions and follow them strictly, so that it can be more beneficial for me and you, for us to produce good result, as it were. My name again is Midas Felchimo. I'm the team leader of Plan B Express. If by any chance you're watching this video and you're not part of the Plan B Express Cashflow Solution Club, find a way to subscribe, because you will have opportunity to explore more things in this space. Thank you very much. My name is Felix. Bye for now.